This is intended to be a portable device, and so it has cord stowage in the back. I have to I'm afraid of breaking the cord. So we'll unstow the cord. You see the back of it, it says Jerrold Instruments, 60150, I don't know what the 50 means, and a serial number, which I can't quite make out. They must have made this in 220 volts. There's a fuse, and I said a strain relief. I'm going to try starting with these 6 screws. Remove these 6 screws and that loosens up the chassis, the enclosure. Looks like seeds. Must have been a mouse. Which is not uncommon. So we have 2 transformers. There's a power light here. Tube shields. Thermal wraparounds. General Electric. 6522. RCA. K6, and there's no date code on it. That's really surprising. $65.17. See the filament starting to glow. You may be able to see a faint glow down at the base of these regulator tubes. They're actually emitting a pink. You can see it. These are equivalent of today's Xenier diodes, except they're operating at 225 volts. You can see the glow of the tubes inside the heat shields. Apparently there's a tube inside here because it says remove to replace V1. Put these covers back on. It's interesting they have thermal shields in them. That's thermal conductors. A lot of these metal tube shields did not have them. Now I'm going to turn it up, and I'll be leaning on top of the tube shields when I do this. Some mouse debris. All point-to-point wiring. Some internal potentiometers for calibration. And that's just the way it was done. A filter capacitor. What's interesting about this I believe these are a whole array of diodes placed in fuse holders. They constitute the rectifiers for the power supply portion of this. And very early diodes were notoriously unreliable. So they've been mounted that way so they can be replaced. See if I can get one out. Yep, that's a diode. It's polarized by this notch. And hopefully it's polarized in the socket. It is. So the only thing left, here's that frequency determining switch. I'm going to turn it, and you'll see the drive shaft with the universal joint turning. And we'll turn it up on end again and see what the frequency determining components are. I actually believe that this big coil mechanically varies a frequency determining component. This is a solenoid, and there's something right here has a little tiny wiring coming from it. It goes up here into some other capacitors that are adjustable. There we go. Some of the vacuum tubes actually mounted on the frame of the reactor. And that thing in the middle, I believe, varies maybe reactance in response to the magnetic field set up by this AC driven coil. Unfortunately, the Jerrold history site's schematic page doesn't show up for this device. When I click on it, I get a bunch of gibberish. So there you see, there's probably, I can't tell, anything's been replaced. This capacitor is original. All the diodes are original. I don't think you could buy them today. The date code on the capacitor is 6330. So this electrolytic capacitor was made in 1963. Probably not installed until 65 when the tubes were. And it still seems to do just fine. The generator makes its rated output, and its flatness, as you saw, is within the specified 1/2 dB. There's a 1 dB. Actually, we exceeded the flatness. The flatness is, well, plus or minus 1/2 dB. So that would be a range of 1 dB. So we still meet specs. Unfortunately, we don't have a 6L6, we have a 6K6, which is a lighter duty version of the 6L6. So there you go. A Jerrold 601A. Nope, just a 601. Well, I hope you enjoyed that. Brings back memories.